Hello YouTube. Today I'm going to do another video. This one I'm going to talk about my transition and like me leading up to actually going through with everything and just like a timeline so that everybody has an idea of my experiences and what I've been through. So basically it starts from a very young age, maybe like 5 years old or so. It's whenever I remember thinking about these things the most, which of course, back then, I had no idea what any of it was. So it's like kind of me like wearing my mother's clothes for some reason and my dad yelling at me, telling me I'm not supposed to do that, and things like that. I mean, that happened a lot, so I really don't need to talk about it. But other things that would be like people realizing but not realizing too. So like one of them was I'd go over to like my cousin's house with my mom, and it was her sister, and she had two girls, and I would play with them a lot, and I would ask if I could wear like their clothes while we play, and they would let me and not think anything of it. I'm running around wearing these dresses, but no one questions it. So, there's a lot of that. Like, I did that a lot, and when I asked my mom about it, she just didn't understand it. She just thought I was, I don't know, having fun, because I guess some people do that for fun. I don't know. But, so she didn't get that. And there's a lot of other things from my childhood that would have probably raised flags for me. Like, I'd always have to be playing with the girl toys. Like, I mean, I didn't have Barbies or anything like that. 'Cause, I mean, my brothers and everybody, and we all rode bikes and did all that kind of stuff. But I'd have girl toys too, and that was like a big thing for me. It was most of the toys I wanted were girl toys. Like, I still have the one, it hangs in my car, and it's actually a little doll. It was from the All Dogs Go to Heaven movie, that little Anna Marie. It's just like a little rubber plastic toy, I don't know. But I had that thing with me everywhere I went, and one time I even lost it when we were on vacation, and we had to stop and pull over so we can find it so I could like be happy again. And it's a lot of that. My favorite toys were, I was obsessed with Babs Bunny, so I had like stuffed animals and like a pillow, which I asked for Christmas, and I got. And again, like I had these, and nobody questioned any of it ever. So I kind of just assumed like that was okay, but whenever I talked about like my feelings about my gender, that's whenever everything started feeling strange. Like, I remember I was talking to my cousin one time. We were in my backyard. Like, he was playing basketball, and I was just, like, jumping around in a bush or doing something weird that we usually do. But I remember, like, asking him, like, hey, have you ever felt as though you were meant to be a girl? And I just remember, like, the look he gave me, and he's just like, what? No, like, why would I feel that way? And like, why, have you? And of course I'm like, no, I'm just asking questions. So from there I just like dropped it and never really spoke of it again until I came out to him. But I also had like another cousin who I spent a lot of time with, and I'd like sleep over her house a lot, and we'd just like play games and like truth or dare, and I'd end up in like girls' clothes, and that'd be fun. But like, she was one I really felt comfortable with about it, and I kind of wanted to confide in her, but I never built up to it. I was kind of too afraid the whole time. So, but I thought she was going to be the one, and it never really came about. And that's whenever the next time was whenever I was seeing a girl, and I remember telling her that I like to wear girls' clothes, which at the time is all I really understood about it, like I'd go to school wearing girls' clothes under my real clothes, being afraid in gym because I had to get dressed and I'd be afraid that they were gonna like see what I'm wearing or something. But like I'd do that and I'd wonder why it feels so right. And I didn't understand it. So when I was dating her and I told her, at first, she took it and was like, okay, well, you can try that. And then we did. And it freaked her out. So she like kind of ran away like when she saw me wearing girls' clothes and looking like a girl. And we talked about it and she's like, I can't do that. I'm sorry. Like, and it didn't last long after that. Not because of that, but that like kind of also made me hide it because again, like it freaked somebody I'm close to out and it made me feel like something about me is wrong. So I continued for a couple more years, not really telling anybody, not really understanding myself, just being kind of lost. Sorry, hold on. Yeah, so I spent like all those years being lost. And then it wasn't until, I think maybe like 5 years later, I brought it up again to another girlfriend. And she actually took to it pretty well. Again, it was just me wearing girls' clothes, which is still all I really knew. But so I'm wearing these girls' clothes and she thinks it's a fantasy. And that was the one I spoke of in one of my previous videos. And she did that okay for a while until I realized I'm trans and I told her, and then that's whenever she left. So another example of feeling like what I am is kind of wrong because I can't seem to get people to stick by me. So it wasn't, after her, of course, was whenever I was doing the research, and that's when I realized, whenever I like started looking into like what transgender is, and that's when I understood that that's what I am. I'm trans and I am a girl. And I was finally glad to understand what it was that I was experiencing. So it didn't take very long, of course, from there for me to decide I had to transition. It took me a lot of courage and a long time to build up to it. It took me about a year, like I said before. But that whole time, I was researching, like, the surgeries, the hair removal, because I know it doesn't seem like it, but I have a lot of facial hair, which is horrible. And so from there is whenever I transitioned, and that's whenever everything started to make sense. Even though I battle a lot of anxieties and stuff, I still at least feel like myself. I finally feel like what I'm supposed to and comfortable, and I'm not confused anymore. And that's what really needs to be brought up because, again, like with this whole thing with my parents, and they don't understand, and they wish to this day that they could have. And that's what needs to change, is we need to work on this, and we need to get people educated and understanding so that they're not, like, hurting their kids. And it's happening all over. Like, even within the past year, so many trans kids have taken their own life or were disowned and cut off and are now homeless because their parents believe that what they are is wrong. And it's terrible because they don't get to choose this. Like, you brought them into this world, and then you're, like, disappointed in them for being themselves. And that's not fair. And if you're going to decide to be a parent, you need to man up or woman up and take care of your kid and accept them no matter what happens. Like, you have a kid who's born with autism, you are understood that you're going to have to help. You're going to have to take care of them because you understand that that's a real thing. But when it comes to transgender issues, people just are allowed to believe that it's not okay, and that it's completely okay to disown your children or to send your, like, minor off to a conversion camp and try to convert them out of what they are, and then they end up committing suicide because they're afraid of who they are. And that's abusive, and it should not be allowed to be happening. And I'm glad to see that it's finally getting attention and is going to probably be made illegal because it should be. Like, at least people are finally starting to realize that trans people aren't just deciding these things and that it's actually real. And I'm glad for it because, I mean, I have experience with people believing that it's not okay. And I haven't, like, personally seen them, but, like I said, my boyfriend's parents do not accept me. And he has to deal with that. Like, he has to go up there and listen to them disrespect me. And he tries not to talk about it to me because he knows it upsets me, but I know it happens almost every time he's up there. And it's terrible because I know they're good people. I know they care about people. But it's unfortunate that they're stuck hiding behind these beliefs that I understand, believe to be true, but I'm sorry, you're not even, like, giving me a chance to explain who I am or understand it. Like, you don't. You're not going through it. You weren't 5 years old questioning why you feel these things. And I'm sorry, but also a 5-year-old can't just make those decisions and think those things on their own. They're not comprehending what's going on. So we need to get this information out there. We need to help these kids be able to transition from a young age so they don't experience as much anguish. I know, like, you can block puberty, and I really, really wish I did because I'm spending thousands of dollars just to remove facial hair, and I shouldn't have to. And when I'm worrying about all these transition costs, and all everybody else has to worry about is college funds and getting a job, well, I can't even think about those things because all that's on my mind all day, every day anymore is transition costs and how I'm going to get them and how I'm going to better myself. And that's why I'm doing these videos also, is to help educate, help us make these people understand and accept all of the children, and so that we can all be ourselves. And that's really all I have to say about my transition on this one. I'll probably touch more on it later. So that's this video. So thank you.